Cannonball and her goons marched up to the Great Rhino. The Emperor of Steel was waiting for them. The devils dragged a handcuffed Wezzel out, took off his chains, and tossed him on the ground in front of Gilderoy. Mostella! I'd almost forgotten how useless you were when those ingrates attacked me. Tell me why I shouldn't rip your spine out through your mouth. Please don't hurt me. I've been working hard to help you, glorious Emperor Gilderoy. From my cage, I whispered in the ears of my captors. I convinced Cannonball Van Nessus to bring you the mole, the eagle, and the ape. I also convinced Admiral McWurtzbiggle to hijack the great shark. All of the great beasts are now yours, thanks to me. Splendid! You're more than the sniveling turncoat I thought you were. Thank you, my liege. Without warning, Gil plunged his sword into Wezzel's throat. Unfortunately, I don't like people who beg. I remember you doing your fair share of begging when they tried to throw you into that chest. Gil pointed his sword at the devil. You betrayed Morios. Will you do the same to my empire? War is a glorious thing, Emperor. When people are desperate, they will give everything for even a moment of relief. You don't have to worry about my loyalties. I don't trust you, nor should you. I'll be taking control of the great beasts now. All of them are going where they belong, the capital of my empire. And what will you give in return? Your continued existence. Cannonball laughed. Take them, Emperor. I've gotten everything I wanted already. The devils walked off. What is Terry's next mission, boss? We're going to have some fun with some old friends. Meanwhile, the party was recovering from their fight with the devils. They traveled in silence for 3 days, just trying to get as far away from the Empire and the devils as possible. They ended up in a ruined village in western Valviento. It was the first country conquered by the Empire, and by now, there was nothing left. A paper crane flew over to the party, then flew into a barn. The party followed it. Old Man Kelton, Mother Silrag, McGucket the Planeswalker, and Muddy Wench were waiting for them. You look like you've been through hell, young man. It's been a rough week. And it's only going to get worse, I bet. Oh, definitely. The Empire now holds all but one of the great beasts. But at least they don't have all of them. Your friend Caravander blew up Nirvana, buried the beast of Braza beneath 100 billion tons of stone. It'll be pretty hard to dig it up. Why would you say that? The Empire cannot be allowed to bring all 8 beasts together. It would be more horrid than you can imagine. Do you know who built the great beasts? No, neither do we. Our best theory is that eons ago, there was a single great beast, a godlike being, powerful enough to shatter entire planes of reality. The greatest beast tore itself apart as it entered this realm, splitting into 8 pieces. If these pieces are brought together, they will combine, returning into their original form. If that happens, this realm will die. Our order has existed, working behind the scenes for years to keep the great beasts from ever being used again. But we failed. The Empire holds all the cards. But that's their weakness. They have a few powerful soldiers who lead their armies, but the average soldier is pathetic. They revel in being the powerful, the chosen few, and only concentrate power in the hands of their figureheads. It makes sense they're so preoccupied with weapons of mass destruction. That's how they see the world, as a story focused on the strongest. But if you can take their leaders and their weapons off the table, the Empire will crumble. There are 4 targets that I'm afraid only you can defeat. Gilderoy, Evelyn, Aurum, and now Cannonball Van Nessus. What about the great beasts? How do we destroy them? Hell if I know, but if there's a way to destroy them, the Empire's scientists would know. I'd check out your old alma mater, Nessatine University. Great, I have to go back to college. Hey, it isn't that bad. You can finally get your doctorate. You know what? Yeah, it's finally time to get my degree. Give me my doctorate in destruction. With a minor in murder. The party made their preparations. Hugo fixed up his armor, building a new cannon that worked without the flute of wind, using parts given by McGucket. They're fascinating, aren't they? The great beasts. They are incredible. I could spend a lifetime studying their inner workings. With enough time, I could completely reshape the world using what I can learn from them. Yeah, but you know you won't get that chance, right? Hugo kept working on his armor. If a moment comes when you have to choose between knowledge and the lives of others, there's only one right choice. I know. I'm not happy about it, but I understand. I'll destroy the great beasts. Meanwhile, Muddy Wench tossed Graven a sword. "It's your father's blade. Well, your family's blade. McGucket picked it up from the ruins of the Ballista Tower. It's not as nice as the Great Beast keys, but it's better than that dull fire poker you've been using. I don't want it." Cemeteran Epsilon was a rat bastard. I don't dispute that. I've hated him since he was a kid, and I'm so proud that you aren't like him. But, it's okay to mourn him. He was a shitty man, but he died fighting for something that matters. And now, Graven, you're the new Duke Epsilon. Don't call me that. I'm Graven. Just Graven. He swung the sword a few times. Feels weird in my hand. Yeah, I bet it does. Mother Silrag took Vixen aside. "I have a confession. Evelyn Dinkelberg, High Priestess of Judgment, she was a member of our order. I trained her. When we first met, she was a scared orphan. Her village had been destroyed by the forming of the Great Ravine. I tried to teach her to be peaceful, to prevent another war like the one that killed her family from ever happening again, but there was hate in her heart. I couldn't save her from becoming the monster she is now. It isn't your fault. There is a secret technique practiced by our order that allows us to reach into someone's mind. It's what I used to put you through those trials at the observatory. It is also the technique Evelyn learned to use to wipe away someone's soul. I'm going to teach you this technique, Vixen. I don't really want to reach into people's minds. But you must. I suspect the only way to defeat Evelyn will be to reach into her mind and unravel it from within." Vixen didn't say anything else. He let Silrag teach him the technique, but he had another use for it in mind. The party knew Cannonball and her devils would be coming for them. They told the old masters to leave for their own safety. Vixen stayed behind in a barn and waited for battle. Sure enough, Cannonball arrived, accompanied by Terry, Bullets, and 5 other devils. "Hello, Vixen. I'd like to thank you again for so foolishly giving over your soul. It made tracking you down so easy. Where are your friends hiding?" "They aren't here. They died from their injuries after the fight at the palace." Cannonball laughed. She didn't doubt for a second that Vixen was telling the truth. After all, he couldn't lie, right? "Well then, this should be easy. Terry, be a dear and finish this so we can go home." Terry and the goon stepped forward, right into the pungy pit the party had dug. Graven, Pimmet, and Hugo burst out from the shadows. Hugo cast slow on the devils in the pit. Pimmet threw down a fireball, wild magicked into ice to get around their resistances. The devils started climbing out, but Hugo pulse waved them back in. Terry burst out again, shouting his name, but Vixen uppercut him back into the pit. He landed on a spike. "Terry?" "Master Cannonball, these enemies may be more dangerous than we expected." "Oh, please, Terry's died a dozen times." "Yes, but..." Hugo teleported next to Bullets and punched him with a booming blade-enhanced thunder gauntlet, causing him to explode into a cloud of red mist. Graven stepped towards Cannonball, drawing his sword. He lunged at her. Oris crashed down on top of him, slamming Graven into the ground. Cannonball stroked his face. "Good boy. Now, do your job and kill them. You don't want to make me mad, do you?" Oris turned towards the others. He took off his helmet, revealing the scars from Orum's transformation. "What did you do to me back at the palace? Made you realize the Empire is a bunch of shitheads? You messed with my head. You made me all confused. We fixed something the Empire broke. You used to be our friend, Oros. This won't work. Any free will your friend had has been completely stripped away by Machina Aurum. It's really a shame, the story of poor little Oros. He tried to be a hero, tried to ignore his destiny, but we're devils. We don't save people. We don't play the role of hero. What we do is win." Oris looked at the party. "Sorry about this," he said, before flying forward and stabbing Hugo. He grabbed Hugo by the throat and flew into the air. Vixen jumped up, grabbing Oris by the foot as he flew. Pimmet and Graven went for Cannonball, figuring Oris would be easier to persuade if she was out of the picture. Unfortunately, she had another trick up her sleeve. She snapped her fingers and giant hands burst out of the ground, grabbing Pimmet and Graven. Carmel of the Fae appeared next to Cannonball. "Hi, I'm a friend of Hugo and Vixen." "Nice to meet you. Let me go." "Sorry, Cannonball knows my name, which means she can order me around. It's really lame." "Carmel, stop wasting time and crush them already." "But that's boring." Vixen crawled onto Oris's back as the tiefling carried Hugo into the sky. "Stop! This isn't you!" I am a servant of Cannonball. I am not a hero. I am a devil. That is what I am. You're being fooled. You believed in kindness for your enemies. You believed in dignity. Shut up! Vixen headbutted Aros and activated the technique Silric taught him. He saw into Aros' head, saw the mess of memories. He saw Aros' mother being torn apart by hellhounds. Saw Aros being beaten for being a tiefling. He saw the fight against Felicity so long ago, and Aros being infected with her curse. He saw Aros being brutalized by Aurum and left in a coma. He saw them cutting Aros apart. In the middle of Aros' mind, he found Aros' heart. It was covered in chains. One chain for the curse, one chain for Aurum's programming, and one for Cannonball's domination of Aros' soul. Vixen grabbed the chains and ripped them apart. Outside, in the real world, this caused Aros to faint. Hugo and Vixen plummeted. Then, right before they hit the ground, Aros grabbed them. His wings transformed, turning angelic as he gently set them down on the ground. He smiled, then fainted again. Wow, wasn't that wonderful? Take one more step and the Fae crushes your friends. Let them go, Caramel. No! Kill them all, Caramel! No. They set Pimmet and Graven down. I gave you an order, Caramel, you insolent imbecile. I know your name. I can destroy you if you do not do what I say. So, do what I say. But my name isn't Caramel. Then what is it? Graven cut Cannonball in half. She laughed. Fine, you win, but it doesn't matter. I can just walk back through the hell portal. I still have legal claim to your soul, Vixen. As soon as I come back, I'm going to take it away. Hey, buddy, I'll play with you if you can get me my soul back. Really? That's easy. Carmel grabbed Cannonball and did something to her. I'm not sure the specifics. Maybe they trapped her in a pocket dimension for 10,000 years. Maybe they did something worse. But whatever Carmel did, Cannonball agreed to give Vixen's soul back to make it stop. Carmel snapped their fingers and teleported Cannonball to the Fey Woods. That was a funny trick, mispronouncing my name. What trick? Vixen, I'd love to play with you right now, but I think you have some important things to do. Although, if it's not too much to ask, can you come visit me in the Fey Woods sometimes? I'd be happy to. Great, and next time I'm going to beat you with rock, paper, scissors. Carmel teleported away. The party turned back to Aros' unconscious body. What should we do? I mean, we could kill him just to be sure. As much trouble as he's been lately, killing him will be too cruel. Besides, who knows? Maybe he'll become nice again. His mind was a mess. So many people pulling him in different directions, telling him who he has to be. I mean, you saw inside his head. Who is he, deep down? A friend. He left Aros with the old masters and set out to complete their quest. They knew that, to destroy the Empire, they would have to venture into its depths.